Back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Jana. Springfield officials coming together for a Purple Heart return ceremony earlier today. That ceremony over at City Hall this morning honored Lieutenant David Bruce Proctor. Purple Hearts Reunited Incorporated and Veterans of Foreign Wars returned a recently recovered Purple Heart certificate and memorial citation from President Franklin D. Roosevelt that was mailed to the Springfield home of the fallen U.S. Army Air Force's First Lieutenant Proctor.
This is a moving ceremony today. This is a moving event. It really shows that the people of Springfield have not forgotten, and we will never forget. And as organized veterans, veterans organizations, it's our duty to make sure people don't forget. So to play one small part in it, for me, is a huge honor for me.
Still ahead here on Western Mass News on ABC 40, Hezbollah and Israel.